and welcome to the By the Lakeside podcast. My name is Sandra, and this is a podcast about my knitting and sewing adventures, which take place here in my craft room, which is by the lake. You can find me on Instagram and Ravelry as SANDYRAN, and I have an Etsy shop where I make project bags, which is called Sandy by the Lakeside. So let's get started this week. I think we are starting to get flurries right now. I can see out my window, and as much as I don't want the slush and the terrible driving that will be coming with winter, I am kind of excited. I have lots of Christmas things on my mind, and I am super excited about the cooler weather coming. So I am getting ready to go to a soccer game this afternoon for my son. I have two boys. Camden is 12, almost 13, and James is 10. So we have a soccer game in a little bit, and I am probably going to do this really quick so I can get out the door to soccer today. So let's get started. I don't have any finished objects this week, but I do have a new whip. Well, not new, but I haven't spoken about it in a while, and I wanted to dust it off and bring it out, and I created a new bag for myself. It's sort of blown out, but this bag I had in my shop. It's my new larger project bag in the heavier canvas, and I love this fabric so much that I just took some time this weekend to make one for myself. I thought all of these little words on the front were so sweet, and I thought that they would be perfect for my Cozy Memories blanket. So I didn't make a lot of progress on my Cozy Memories blanket since I started, and I think it's mostly because I don't have very many minis or any, and I've just been sort of picking up a few here and there. And I was watching JILLY from the Knitting Broomstick, who I love. I love her podcast, and it's probably really obvious, but something she said on one of her recent podcasts just made a light bulb go off in my head. She works on a lot of socks, and she mentioned on one of her podcasts that before she started the sock, she'd quickly put a square into her Cozy Memories blanket, and I thought, of course, like I have all this yarn and all these socks that I want to start. If I wind up a skein and I start new socks, why not? So I am going to really try to do that. I noticed this week that it didn't take me that long. It's a nice easy knit to do a square at night. So I'm really gonna try, really gonna try. So I've got it in my bag. I pulled out a bunch of new minis, and I thought I would just go over how I'm doing it, what I'm doing. I am using the Coziest Memory pattern. This one is free on Ravelry, and it's a scrap blanket recipe by KEMPER RAY of RAY. And I just needed a little like recipe go-to so that I knew what I was doing. I know it's kind of easy, but I'm really forgetful, and even from doing the two squares initially, I had a hard time picking it up and trying to remember how I did them and what I did. So I like this. I've been referring to it, and I think now that I've done just one more, I'm good. But I like having it in case I put it away for a little while and I forget. Then I've got my little recipe here. She just kind of goes over if you want them in a certain direction and where you pick it up and what you do. So I really like this. I am using, I've purchased some Addy Turbo Sock Rockets, a 16-inch 2.75 millimeter needle just to keep in this bag. So it's right here. And I love this needle, it's really good. I've got my, the NOME knitter. It's really bright. The NOME knitter DPN needle cozy. I think I might have to adjust my lighting. Let's see. So I've got the NOME knitter needle cozy here, which I am keeping in this bag. And I only had two squares before, and I've only added one more, so there's not a lot of progress. But I love seeing these blankets, and then I had a few things that I was going to ask to see if anyone had any tips on. So here is my cozy memories so far. These are both Madeline Tosh, which I had done months and months ago. I've got my little pretzel progress keeper here, which is from a homespun house. And just last night I put in this new square, which is also fingering, but it's definitely bigger than the others, so I'm not sure if anyone has experience with that. I'm using, you know, the same needles, and they're both fingering weight. I'm not sure if my tension changed just a little bit. Maybe I've become a looser knitter over the months, I'm not sure. But I am gonna put in one more and just see how it works out. I'm not sure, like, if that's not a good thing. Like, should I rip that out and try something different, because I'm worried about them all being different sizes. So I thought I would pose that question. Yeah, I'm not too sure. This is a Primrose yarn, which is beautiful. I bought a few minis from Primrose yarn on Etsy. And I'm really happy with it. I love it. I don't know, I think I'm less happy with these two than I am with this one. I think this is really pretty. So if you have any tips, I was doing, let's see, I have a little note that I had jotted down from many months ago on the LEGACYKNITZ podcast. I think it was Sue that had said she slipped the first stitch of every row, and then she knit through the back loop on the end of the row, and that would make it easier to pick up the stitches when you're adding on a new block. And I know I did that with the first two and it worked really well, but I tried it again with this new square and I was having trouble with it. I don't know if it was just, I was having kind of a weird week. Again, it was a little bit of a bummer. Everything I tried, I was making mistakes, and I just had to put it down a few times. It just wasn't working out. The first few times I started this square, I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong, and I would get like a few rows in and I'd think, this is weird, and I would rip it out. And I realized afterwards I was doing the increases and decreases on every row instead of every other, so it wasn't symmetrical and it was a mess, and I just couldn't think straight. It's the simplest mistake. Like, it was that I'm typical for doing that. If something's really complicated and I sit down to do it and I'm focused and I have the right mind frame, it's no problem. But sometimes the easiest things for me, I make mistakes over and over and over just because I am sleepy and tired. And this week was one of those weeks. Work was a little bit stressful, and so I would try to de-stress with my knitting at night, but it was really upsetting me. I was at the point where I was like, oh my gosh, I can't even knit a cozy memory square. But I persevered and I did it, and I'm excited to start my next one, which is another Primrose yarn. Super pretty. I love them. I think this is what I need right now. I think this is a nice go-to knit. So this bag is filled with a few of my favorite minis that I've recently very generously been gifted, either with a purchase or in a little swap with a friend. So I've got some cute little bits and pieces here that people have sent, and like really cute little, and I'm excited because I've never had minis before like this. So this is fun. I have lots of plans. Here's another Primrose. I was winding a few last night too, and I've got more. So really happy. I'm looking forward to spending the next few months on my blanket and just taking my time and trying to feel no pressure with it. So I love it in my large bag. It's fitting lots and lots of minis, and I'm pretty sure it will fit my blanket for quite some time. So that is work in progress number 1. My second work in progress is a shawl. It is the Ardent shawl that is in my Fringe field bag from Fringe Association. And I showed this last week. So let me just pull up the pattern. So you can see this great picture of an Ardent shawl by JANINA KALLIO. This is it here. And I'm really enjoying this knit. I kind of thought that I would, which is why I chose it. I was looking for something specific. But here is how I'm doing on my shawl. So I'm loving it. I love the color. I love the yarn, which is the Manos del Uruguay in Allegria. And this color is pewter, which I think I said last time, it looks a little more blue than gray to me. It's a beautiful steel blue. And I think I'm gonna get a lot of wear out of this. I really love this yarn. I love the color. I love the little bit of like variation in color that you see. And I love this pattern. It's really, really enjoyable. This to me is the perfect kind of knitting for me during the week or during busy times. I know I talk about that a lot, but I get very easily distracted, and I don't want to be locked up in a room knitting by myself when I want to spend time with the family. So this one is perfect. I love it, and I think I'm going to look into more of her patterns afterwards because I'm really enjoying the simplicity but the beautiful design as well. I feel like this is going to be fast because once you get to one of these eyelet sections, you're kind of on a race to get to the next. They're really fun. I love it. So here it is. It's beautiful. And I haven't spent a ton of time on it, so I'm really excited because I think if I do, I will finish this one nice and quickly, but I'm really enjoying it at the same time. So loving this, and this one has this really beautiful teacup progress keeper, also from Molly at a Homespun House. So that is my very enjoyable whip that I am going to be putting into the shawl along with the Die Another Day podcast ladies. So Amanda and Christina have me working away on this shawl so that I can move on to a couple of others that I talked about last time too. I really love shawls, and I'm excited to do all the shawls. So moving on to a little bit of dream knitting, I guess you would say, is I've been thinking a lot about Christmas, and I'm not really putting any pressure on myself to do gifts because I'm just a little bit too busy to do that, and whatever I do make, I'll probably will make something for the boys, and I might not finish it for Christmas, but I will be off over the Christmas period, so I probably will have like a Christmas break gift for both of them. But I was very generously gifted this beautiful pattern from Amber CRAWLEY from the Simple Love podcast. We had done a little bag swap, which was super exciting, and I will show you that in a few minutes. But she was also really sweet and had recently released her pattern called Trim the Tree. So I'm not usually like a small knitter, like a small item knitter, but this one really struck a chord. And at first I was thinking, well, I don't really have the yarn, but then I thought I do have this growing collection of minis in really pretty colors, and they're not super Christmassy, but I think I prefer that. And we usually have an artificial tree in one section of our house, but I like to get a small real tree to put in front of our fireplace, and have a collection of more handmade ornaments on it. So I thought this is going to be my project this year. I am really looking forward to trying some of her patterns out. They're really beautiful. The ornament and the star and the garland, they're all really, really, here's the picture of the ornaments. They're beautiful. So she's assured me that they're not too difficult, and that she thinks I can do it. So I think I can do it. And I've put aside one of my little Christmas project bags in kind of a little festive reindeer It's just really pretty. I love this fabric, and it's got the little trees inside. So I kept one of these aside from my last shop update, and I've put it aside with my Christmas Trim the Tree pattern collection from Amber. And I am super excited to get some Christmas knitting. This will be the first year that I've ever done any kind of Christmas knitting, specifically themed for Christmas. And I'm excited. I'm really excited for the holidays this year, and this is kind of getting me really thinking about the holidays. We have almost finished Christmas shopping for our kids. We still have to shop a bit for nieces and nephews and grandparents and things like that. But I'm really trying to get a head start so that I can enjoy some knitting time closer to the holidays. So that's dream knitting number 1. Dream knitting number 2 are socks, and I have a few things that I want to try with socks, and I have so many beautiful yarns that I have recently been lucky enough to purchase, but I'm sort of having a decision-making problem because they're all beautiful, and so I don't know which ones to start first. So I did get a cute bag that really makes me want to find something to go in it, and as much as I've got all this beautiful hand-dyed yarn, I'm kind of thinking I might try this, the Bergère de France Gumi 50. And this is the Imprint Beige, which I've seen here and there on Instagram. It's really beautiful. It's really soft and pretty, and I was thinking of doing the cream toes, heels, and cuffs. And I think this will go really pretty in this beautiful bag that I have. So I'm kind of thinking this might be the yarn to try the 2 at a time. That way I don't have to split or try the button thing just yet in case that messes me up too. So I think I'm going to try this with the 2 at a time, and I have some resources that I think are going to help with that, and I'm going to give that a go. So that's next on the list. I think that brings me into things that I've recently gotten, and one of the most exciting things that I got, speaking of Amber, was this beautiful patchwork bag that I've had my eye on her bags for a really long time, and I am a huge patchwork and quilting fan. It's one of my first loves. I consider myself a knitter or a quilter before, a sewer or a quilter before a knitter, because I'm a little more experienced in the sewing department. So I really appreciate this beautiful bag that she made. I was so excited. It came on kind of a yucky day, a really hard day, and it was so nice to come home to this beautiful quilted bag and this beautiful yarn that came inside. I haven't even taken it out because I wanted to show you. And it's got just the sweetest hint of sparkle, really subtle. So I think I'll put that in my cozy memories pile. So yeah, I think this seems like a really pretty yarn to put in here and try my 2 at a time socks. So thank you so much, Amber. I really love it, and I really love your podcast, which is Simple Love Podcast, and I'm sure you all know Amber and the beautiful work that she does, but you should check out her Etsy shop, which might be moving to another website soon, but in the meantime, you can check out her podcast and her Instagram. She's got beautiful photos, and she does such beautiful, really original patchwork, I think, and we really have similar tastes in fabric designers and colors. So yeah, this was a real treat to get something like this. I was really happy to do a swap with her. Thanks, Amber. So this was one of my favorite things that I got this week. I did get a couple of other things that are kind of exciting. So on the talk of minis, I had ordered some more from Primrose Yarn Company. They are the Pretty Toes mini skeins. And I just wanted some blasts of color. And I thought this might be fun for some of my ornaments, but also to put into the blanket. And I think there's more than enough to do both from some of these. I think these are quite generous. So they are an 80/20 Super Wash Merino Nylon 100 yards. This one is Pinky Promise, and I really wanted like a super bright fluorescent pink. This one is Lemongrass, one of my favorite colors, of course. And the last one is Plum Tart, again purple, one of my favorites. So I'm really loving Primrose Yarn Company yarns. Really, really love the colors. I love the way they feel. So these are all going to go into the Christmas ornaments and my Cozy Memories blanket. I mentioned last time that I was going to pick up some crochet hooks, so I did. I got 2 for me and 1 for my son because he wants to learn how to crochet, and he also does rainbow loom, and he wanted one of these to do something with rainbow loom. So I got a couple of these, and if time permits over the holidays, I'd really like to try a crochet blanket with some of my scraps too. We'll see how far I can stretch them. And then I did get, let's see here, I finally received my making the #2 issue, which is called Fauna. And I've loved the first issue so much that it was a given that I had to order this one. And it does not disappoint. It's absolutely beautiful. There are beautiful patterns in here. Absolutely, like Open Waters cowl, stunning. There are so many. I could show you this gorgeous sweater with the antlers on the front. Beautiful toys, gorgeous, oh my gosh, gorgeous embroidery. Look at that. So lots and lots of good stuff. Even if I don't make anything from this right now, I know that this is a beautiful resource that I am just going to keep. And I love that there's even, you know, recipes. This is really something I will pull out and continue to look at. And then there's coloring pages. So much good stuff in here. It looks like there's even a couple stories in here, and there's toys. So super, super pretty. Lots of beautiful knitting patterns in here, which I am going to enjoy flipping through all the time. Now, I also ordered a book based on Sue from the Legacyknits, her recommendation for socks from the toe up. So this is another thing I wanted to try with the 2 at a time Magic Loop socks, is to try toe up. I haven't. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it, but when Sue says so, I do it. So I'm excited. She said there was also a really nice pattern in here. I'm going to go back and see which one it was. But the pictures in here and the sock patterns are also really pretty. Oh, this is beautiful. I love that. And I love the name. Dead Simple Lace Socks. Really, really pretty. So I'm excited. I feel like I've been purchasing a couple of sock books in the last few months. I've got this one now, and I've got Laura Neal Sock Architecture, and then I also Custom Socks, I think by Kate Atherley. So I'm kind of excited. I really want to up my sock game. I want to try 2 at a time, toe up. I want to try the button thing. Yeah, I kind of want to find new ways to get comfortable with socks and beat that whole second sock syndrome, which I do suffer from because I do lose interest. But I think if I try 2 at a time, that might help. I also have 2 sewing patterns that I've recently picked up. This one I got a little while ago, but I wanted to show you. I'm excited about the Merchant & Mills, the dress shirt pattern. I've been looking for patterns that are like easy to wear, but also like just kind of like minimalist and kind of cool, and I thought that was really pretty. So I think I'm going to try this in some Robert Kaufman chambray that I have, a little, I think it's a railroad stripe. And then I also got this Grainline Studio Pharaoh dress, which I've seen popping up all over the place online, on Instagram, and I really wanted to try one of their patterns because I haven't yet. I ordered this one from the Workroom, which is downtown Toronto, and along with that, I ordered this beautiful bundle of a fat quarter set. And I've been purchasing a lot of fabrics lately. I think with all of the sewing that I've been doing for my shop, I've been really excited. It's one of my favorite things. I think one of the reasons I like making bags so much is because I love fabrics so much. And when I find a collection that I love, oh, I thought that was so pretty. So this bundle is by Erin McMorris, and the collection is called Noteworthy. And so I'm kind of a paper planner lover too, and fabric lover, so I thought what better than to have like these little pencils and globes and these beautiful clouds and some geometric patterns and things. I think they're really pretty. There's a gray, so many pretty ones in here. Really, really pretty patterns. So I treated myself to this because over the holidays I want to do some more patchwork, and I think I'm going to be doing some of the quilt as you go, which I've tried before and I really like. So I think I'm going to try to spend some time just for myself and do some fun sewing. I'd like to do like a new table runner for our dining room, and maybe incorporate some of the patchwork into like a new tote bag for my shop. So we will see. I'm going to work on some stuff over the holidays, and maybe in the new year you will see a little bit more patchwork in my shop. The reason I don't have that much right now is just because of time. It's a really time consuming thing, and with working full time outside of the house, I don't get a ton of time. So moving along, the last thing I want to show you is also something super, super exciting that I've been waiting for quite a few weeks to come, but I really wanted to get an advent calendar from, there have been a few people that have done some really beautiful hand-dyed yarns, the LEGACYKNITZ, Legacy Fiber Arts, a few other people that I can't really think of right now, but I really wanted to, and I either missed out on the updates because they went so quickly, or just with the shipping it was really expensive, so I didn't get that. But I did get the Opal Advent Calendar. So this one I'm really excited about. I can't wait. I'm going to, as soon as this podcast is done, I'm going to put it on my dining room table and pull out the advent calendar that we've already picked up for the kids, which is a Lego one. And I am going to try and see if I can find one for my husband. If you have any good recommendations for another advent calendar for a man, let me know. I'd love to know, because I thought it would be fun if I had my yarn, the kids have their Lego one, and then I wanted to get one for my husband. I considered the David's Tea, but then I thought that might be a little more for me than for him. So if you have any recommendations, please comment below. I would love to hear if you have any good ideas for a men's advent calendar. Okay, last couple of things I just wanted to mention I have something exciting that I wanted to talk about. So I recently discovered a new podcast by Patty, who does the 4 Boys and an NL Girl podcast. And it's really great. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. She is lovely, and she's in a beautiful, beautiful area of Canada, and she shows beautiful pictures of where she lives at the beginning and sometimes at the end of her podcast too, I think. She has 3 boys and lives in Newfoundland, and she just does so many things. She all kinds of crafts. She doesn't limit herself to one. She knits, she sews, she does needlework, cross stitch, just general crafts. She does beautiful buntings and all kinds of neat stuff. So I would highly recommend her podcast. I've been enjoying it and trying to catch up on the earlier ones that I've missed. But I wanted to announce that we have decided to do a really fun make-along together. which will start November 17th, so it's already started. I'm a little bit late. And it will run all the way through to January 31st, and we are calling it the Crafty Winter Make-Along. So the hashtag for that is going to be Crafty Winter MAL. It is going to be a general craft contest, I guess you'd call it, where anything that you're making, any project would be accepted. Knitting, sewing, cross-stitch, general crafts. You can enter in either her group on Ravelry, or the thread on her group, or a thread that I will be opening up on my group. And you can have the opportunity to win on either of our groups, and we will probably announce, I think, the winners on February 1st is what we're planning. So they could be holiday projects, they could be whips, and basically it would just be one comment per entry and no chatter in that one thread. So we will put up the details about that and have like a no chatter thread so that you can enter, and you can enter as many projects as you like, but just do the one project per entry so that you get that separate entry. So I'm really excited. I think I am going to be easy on myself, and the ones that I am going to make along with this challenge is, or are my Christmas ornaments. So I think I am just going to continue to try and make stuff, no matter how small or how big. Just try to find the time, make something that I really love and that brings me, you know, joy, and I encourage you to all do the same and enter our make-along. So once again, it's called the Crafty Winter Make-Along, and you can enter on my group on Ravelry, which is the By the Lakeside podcast group, or you can enter on Patty's, which is the 4 Boys and an NL Girl podcast group. So I'm excited about that, and I hope you guys will join in and make stuff with us for the next couple of months. The last thing that I just wanted to talk about before I have to run off are some of my favorite things this podcast. They're all people. So I wanted to take a few minutes because I have had so much fun discovering a few new people, new to me people, and also just joining in on some of the Periscope fun and new podcasts and things. So I wanted to share because I love them. They're such a wonderful way to relax and sort of extend your love of crafts. I think it's a really nice way to just celebrate, you know, the making. So I wanted to mention first a new podcast to me, which is not new, but the Brownberry Chronicles, and that's with Mars. I had seen her name a few times or heard other people mention her, and I finally got around to watching probably just 2 of her last podcasts and find her on Instagram, and she is lovely. She is very inspirational, very calm, just someone that I really love watching. I really love hearing her speak about her projects, and yeah, I don't know, there's something I can't quite put my finger on with Mars, but there's something really special about her, and I think that if you haven't watched her, you really should. She is a pretty awesome lady and an amazing knitter, and I really love watching her. So I would recommend the Brownberry Chronicles. The second one I wanted to mention, which is also new to me, but I think it's a fairly new podcast, I don't think she's been doing it for too long, is Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady. I love her podcast too. She is fun. She has, I think she's got a couple of boys, and so she's busy with them, but she knits a lot. So she is really inspiring to me. I think she does a ton of socks, obviously. She is the Crazy Sock Lady, but Kay is really sweet, really fun to watch, and I'm really excited to catch up on a bunch of her podcasts because I think I've only watched 2 as well. So I'm trying to catch up, and I have a lot to catch up on, but I've got lots of good stuff to watch. So I would highly recommend Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady podcast. And I wanted to mention Amber. You probably all know her, but from the Simple Love Made podcast. Amber is the lovely lady that did my sweet and beautiful patchwork bag. I've been loving her podcast. I feel like everything that she makes is quite similar to taste in what I like, and she definitely does a lot more than I do. She crochets as well, and she's really inspiring. She does a lot of stuff with her kids, and I love that. I love how her whole philosophy seems to be in her family about creating things and taking time to make things and doing crafts together. So I really love Amber's podcasts. They've been really enjoyable, so that's good. And then I mentioned Patty from the 4 Boys and an NL Girl podcast. I've recently discovered her, and we've quickly connected and decided to do that make along together. But I genuinely really love watching her podcasts. She lives near the water like I do, although she's near the ocean and I'm near the lake. But very inspirational photos. She lives in such a beautiful place, and I think it really comes out in her day-to-day, because I think when you're surrounded by beautiful things in nature, you can't help but be inspired. And she just has a lot of fun, crafty things that I might not necessarily have looked into before. I'm not really a cross stitcher. I don't do a lot of needlework. And I've been tending to spend most of my time just sewing and knitting. So I really like seeing some other things, some new ideas and things that are crafty that I could be looking into, because I'm always looking for a new project too. It's kind of sick. So Patty is great. I would recommend her podcast as well. I think that might cover it. I'm definitely enjoying Sue Stokes from the LEGACYKNITZ. Hi Sue. I've been loving jumping on when I can on her Periscope in the mornings, and the whole community there is so sweet and so fun, and it's sort of a little bright spot at the beginning of my day if I can make it on there. That's been fun. And this weekend I actually caught a Periscope of Andy from Andre Sue Knits and Melissa from the Spicy Homemaker. They did a Periscope together, which was super fun, and then they both just did a podcast together, and I love both of them. They are both so talented. Like, wow, what talented women. It's just so neat to have so many women and people in this community that, you know, you can draw so much inspiration from. I love all of them. It's so great. So I loved watching their podcast together. They are hilarious. I do wish that they lived closer so that they could make that a regular, because that was a lot of fun. But both Andy and Melissa are so inspiring and talented, and quite mind-blowing actually when you look at the projects that they work on, and just the knowledge that they have in the projects that they do, and then the creativity on top of that. So they're both lovely, and I really enjoy both of them. So that will probably be the last podcast or recommendation that I have for you today, and I am going to leave it at that. I am going to quickly get my things together and head out to soccer for James, and the whole family's gonna go and watch him today. And yeah, I hope you're having a wonderful weekend or week, and that you're getting time to spend on the things that you love and with the people that you love. So thank you for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.